The Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, has now said she's going to start looking into the woke activist DAs who are not charging people for crimes that they've committed. This one specifically is a district attorney in Minnesota who effectively openly created a two-tier legal system based on race. Bobby, I'm going to read you something from her negotiation policy for cases involving adult defendants. It says racial identity should be part of the overall analysis, and prosecutors, quote, should be identifying and addressing racial disparities at decision points as appropriate. At what point do is she aware of this being in direct opposition to the Constitution and creating an equal playing field for everybody, or is it like delusion? Like, is it done intentionally, or does she not know that this is a massive problem and part of the very thing the United States was created to avoid?
Yeah, well, they have a habit of theoretically having the best and most empathetic intentions. And it's like, as we all know the saying, it's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I understand what they're trying to do. And I don't necessarily believe that every leftist inherently is just evil and bad and just wants the worst things. But when you actually see it played out in real time and what it actually does, it actually ends up hurting those exact people even more. And the idea that you would treat people differently as a result of their race to try to equalize some type of playing field is only going to end up making it worse anyhow. And of course it is against any normal legal process. So it seems like it would be illegal or at the very least unconstitutional or whatever for them to not do it. But it's going to have other negative ramifications as time goes on. So it's obviously a bad thing. And it's going to actually punish that group of people even more than it's going to theoretically advance them. But the only thing that they ever care about with every single thing they do is scoring the woke points, scoring the empathy points, where it's like a person on the left will say, I think that we should give money to the homeless, or we should give free apartments to the homeless because we don't want them to be homeless. Isn't that empathetic? We're caring about these people. But really what it does is just enable them to do more bad things and create worse times for the people who are not homeless that live in that area. You're not actually helping them. You're not teaching them how to fish. You're giving them a fish. And as a result, as soon as they consume that fish, they have to go and figure out a way to find another one. And if they can't, they'll have to steal it from somebody else. So you're not teaching them anything. You're not helping them. You're only setting them back. So it's obviously generally bad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no disagreements here. Priya, this DA, Mary Moriarty, is the same one that didn't press charges on the Minnesota employee, the state employee that went around and vandalized a bunch of Teslas. One of my biggest problems, and maybe this will rub some people the wrong way, is that at some point, at least some people are trying to hide it. This seems so open and brazen, and to me, that's like an insult to my intelligence. It's almost like, I'm just going to do this in front of your face, and you're not going to care at all about it. And I'm thinking, dude, we're smarter than that. We can see this, and it's in broad daylight. I don't know, is this an insult to the American people's intelligence, or is it just they just don't think that this is inherently bad?
I think it absolutely is an insult to the American people's intelligence to think that these prosecutors can just get away with this selective policing and prosecution is just ridiculous. I mean, it's completely unconstitutional, and to override the individual rights that everybody has to equal protection under the law is just ridiculous. And this selective prosecution under the guise of race, again, the left loves to push this idea of reverse racism. I'm like, no, it's just racism. That's exactly what it is at the end of the day. And like Bobby was mentioning, this notion of the bleeding heart liberal is so true. A lot of people that I know that are liberal are just the kindest and most empathetic people that I could possibly imagine. But they don't realize that if you follow these ideas out to their logical conclusions, that they just end up hurting the group that you intend to help.
Yeah, it's the parent that just wants to be nice and gives their kid dessert every single day, all you can eat donuts. It sounds good then, but it's not so great when your kid has diabetes and is overweight, and it's just a bad situation.